Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aquarius. If Aquarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so this is a bonus reading for Aquarius. And our card is the Ace of Cups. Okay, and so let's go ahead and get started. And so the Ace of Cups is really going to bring in that energy of maybe kind of budding emotional affairs, not an affair, that's not but emotional stirrings in your life, right? Also, quite a psychic energy comes about when we have that most beautiful holy grail, that vessel of our emotional waters. So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's see what these tea leaves have to say. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you'd like to hit the little like button or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. And if this is your first time or you're new to the channel, you've only watched a few readings, you're kind of getting to know what's going on here, yeah, definitely leave a comment, shout it out. All right, let's go over here. I want to look at this. It looks like it says 6 right here. We have the S, I, and then the X. Okay, so 6. We also have, it looks like 202, but I'm also getting the impression that these are questions, right? They kind of look like question marks. They mostly look like 2s. But I feel like there's a lot of kind of question, what is going on here? I think like a situation emerging where you're just kind of perplexed. I have a lot of questions about what this is, right? So I do feel like you're in a place of kind of the detective, kind of, really vetting a scenario in your life, looking at all of the variables, looking at all of the different points of perception, right? So that you can kind of get a better idea of what is the kind of overall picture. What is the context of the thing? Aquarius, you all are very perceptive, obviously very airy, in that kind of sharp mental state. And so it doesn't surprise me that an Aquarius would be, kind of somebody who investigates. Maybe you're really drawn to things like mysteries or thrillers or true crime, really good at problem solving. I think, also because you have such a deep intuition, you do well investigating people and really noticing kind of patterns of behavior and things like this. And so, yeah, I do. I feel like there's kind of a little bit of a mystery in your life. And I think that, you kind of come to this naturally. I don't think it's so much that you're making something out of nothing. Like, you're standing at the front window watching the neighborhood and something out of the norm is going on. And in your mind, you're creating this big kind of conspiracy. Although, hey, that sounds kind of fun. But I think that, yeah, you notice stuff. And you might not have a lot invested in what's going on yourself personally, but you like to know, you like to see, you like to have some idea of the flow of things going on in your world. And so, yeah, you keep an eye out, okay? And so I feel like there's something going on where, yeah, you're kind of working, you're pulling out the strands, right? You're following kind of the leads and where they take you. And so I do feel like these moments in your life when these things arise, it feels quite fulfilling. Absolutely. Now, it might be that this is your actual work, right? You might be in like law enforcement or, you know, like something like a private investigator. You do some kind of, even if it's like, you know, like digital forensics type of stuff. Something, right? Where maybe you're just the parent of a teenager and it feels like, you know, you're working for CSI because you have to kind of, you know, really take a look at what's going on their phone. What are they doing? You know? But I think that you do really well in this, and it's something that you don't hate, right? I think you get into these modes and it's like, you're just so immersed. And I think that's quite empowering. I also think, you know, it just highlights your abilities, your talent. Okay, let's see. What else do we have going on here? So it looks like we have the initials KC. KC. So maybe a name, maybe initials. We also have the cow. You can see the head here, the body through here, and the horns. We have a person standing, it looks like on a mound or on the top of like a tall hill there. This is the person. You can see kind of the clothing, the head is up here, the arm, looking upwards, and it looks like an angelic person right over here. Now we also have what looks to me like oh no, maybe it's a bird. I was gonna say it looks like a distorted moon, but actually now I'm noticing it has a head, so it does look like a bird. Okay, so I do feel like at the base of this, we have the cow. So we have this mother energy, right? We have that real Hathor energy. And I know she seems to come through a lot. So if you've watched my readings and you're like, wow, this cow really shows up often. Well, that's because she's our mother. She is our ever mother. She is a representation of that mother archetype, that middle goddess, the maiden turned to mother, empress, fiercely protective. That's a quality we don't talk about a lot with Hathor, but she's fiercely protective, and ultimately in the mythology leads to her having some trouble, right? And depending on kind of what interpretation we're talking about, there is her conflict with Set, right? The kind of scary, strange desert god, right? And so she loses her life to him, and she's resurrected. She's saved by Thoth, okay, and given the head of a cow, and that's kind of where it comes from. But she fiercely protects, and I think she was protecting Horus, right? And, or maybe it was Osiris. It was either the husband or the son. One of the two. And, but now I'm thinking I'm mixing it up. No, yes, I am right. I always mix up Isis and Hathor's place on the kind of family tree. So anyways, she is fierce. And she has that motherly instinct, okay? And so that's at the base of it all. I think that's a big part of, where your vigilance comes from. You're somebody who definitely is a protector, definitely has that intuitive flow, has that parental caretaker, fierce protector fire within you. Now, up here, we have that hill I was talking about. And I feel like this is a place where, you build from your power, this place of guardian. And that's what it is. It feels like guardian, like you're a guardian. And from that very firm base of personality, of archetype, there is the mound, the earthen mound, okay? Another actually very motherly symbol, the earthen mounds. You can think of like depictions of Gaia. Often she is a hill. She is a piece of earth, right? She is this kind of naturally occurring landscape with kind of, human personification. And so rising up higher into the sky, and we have the birds or the angels, right? And so this is kind of building from that place of power that you have, transcending into a place of great wisdom, but also being quite in touch with spirit, mediumship, channeling, divination, being open-minded, open-hearted, so that you may receive these divinely inspired revelations, messages. And, I believe in my deepest parts of my heart, you are so inclined towards this. And it might be that you have avoided it because, yes, this can feel quite strange, and depending on how you grew up, who you grew up around, your beliefs that are often kind of set in those early years, you might think this is something that is, weird, shameful, strange. I don't like having these kind of dreams. I don't like, just having these inclinations of, things that might be, that will often come to pass. And having communications or visions or whatever it is. I think so often, especially in those first parts of our life, we suppress these things. In childhood, they might flow easily, and it seems like this is, okay, imagination. This is just make-believe, fantasy. And you get older, it continues on, and maybe even strengthens. But, how many 20-year-olds want to admit that, I'm psychically inclined. Now, maybe in the world as it is, in this very moment, it's more accepted. But not that long ago, this is something that I don't think most people would go around talking about. But I think as you get into your life, you begin to realize this is maybe a gift. And it's not something I have to tell everybody. It's not something I have to share with other people, but it is a gift. And I feel like you have gotten to a place where you don't reject it. You know, you maybe even put it to use for yourself. And maybe it is that you have embraced this life, this path, to the fullest, right? Maybe you have a business that is based around this. Maybe this is your life's work. You know, you're immersed in the spiritual path. And so, you know, whatever this looks like to you, I feel like this is a time where the messaging is intensifying. Okay. Now, I think this partially has to do with the fact that you are going through this kind of, you know, exploring, detective-y kind of posture, really looking, right? Your mind is open because you're on this journey of trying to, to unwind, to solve this mystery that's going on in your life, right? And at the same time, this allows for you to, be more susceptible, be more open to receiving divine messaging. So, ultimately, I feel like this is just really a time where you're not as closed off as maybe sometimes you can get. And I mean, we all do, right? I'm not just saying, it's not just you. We all have our, waxing and waning. And so, I feel you're very in touch with these higher and lower modes of thinking, of engaging with the universe, okay? And so let's go around here. Just kind of gonna see. Okay, so we have, it looks like, when I first started the reading, I saw her. And I'm calling her because it feels like it. I mean, just immediately I feel it. We have the face right here. Body kind of contorted a little bit, like a headdress or hair done high, kind of wound up. It feels to me very much like a medicine woman, a shaman, somebody on the in-between, okay? Now, I feel that you have a relationship with this consciousness. I don't know that if you know them in real life or, like in your physical world, but I feel like this is somebody who you're very close to in your dream world, in your spiritual realms. It might be an ancestor. It could be a guide of some kind. But I do feel there's just such this energy of movement, of dance and just letting, I just keep getting this image of letting everything pour out of you. Almost like it's the residue of your environment, of the people around you, the things that you have taken into yourself, and it is just pouring out of you, like a sense of really kind of dispelling all of these old energies that have clung to you, right? And I feel it does. It feels like a cleansing, not just like a little, wipe you off for the next little while. This is like a purge, a deep, exorcism, not that really, but it does. It's the sense of dispelling and feeling like you are rising from that place, right? All of this stuff, and I keep thinking of this kind of like almost like it's like black tar, just kind of pouring out. but feeling, and this is not literal, right? Let me just be clear, not literal. But yeah, symbolically, and feeling, yeah, like like there's opportunity. Like you're not stuck. You're in it like jammed up, right? Like it's just like there's no flow of energy or a joyousness, I think, or maybe it's like feeling this inability to kind of navigate where you want to. It's just slow. It's like having kind of old oil in the car, right? And you can just tell, like, I need to get an oil change. This thing's feeling a little cruddy, right? Well, I feel that, you have dispelled this. Now, this is in conjunction with the work that you're doing with this divine being. Now, the thing about this one is that I don't feel like they exist solely in your spiritual realm or interior. I almost wonder if this is an actual being who is manifest, who is actually in their body alive, a contemporary in this world right now as we speak, and you've made a soul connection. You maybe have never met, you maybe will never meet in the physical. You maybe have no idea who they are or where they are or anything like that. But you all have connected somewhere in the unconscious, okay? Now, we have an S right here, which we did see on the other side. It was 6, so that number was 6. But we also have a B, okay? A B, we have a star as well. So I do feel like as you are kind of releasing these, well, it's like spiritual toxins. There is this ability to see so clearly in the sky your goals, your dreams. They are becoming clear once again. And so I feel like there is really this motivation, this inspiration, this ability to really apply yourself. Because it just feels like the system has been cleared out. There's room for you to really begin again, right? Where maybe you have felt stagnant or not known how to start or where to go or what to do. It's all becoming available to you through your ability to kind of see more clearly. Okay, so we do. And as I'm saying that, it makes sense. We have the owl right here. We have the watcher. And that's what it is, Aquarius. I feel like maybe your totem or one of your totems would be the owl, because you're an observer, you're a watcher. You take note of all things. And so you just absolutely are on it. And we also have, it looks like 4 steps. We have, I feel like, we have a mushroom, and we have a person who is kind of, it looks like kind of standing upon the mushroom. And I do feel, I don't promote or come down on plant medicine, right? So this could be, that you are partaking in plant medicine. But I think really it is also kind of just an expression of you spending some time outside. I think that's the big thing, is making sure that you're getting into a place where you're feeling quite grounded, right? All of these kind of big emotions and these intellectual whims that are kind of happening, you're following the information, you're, at times maybe becoming quite immersed in it. You're not noticing, you know, the other things going on in life so much. You're very kind of keyed in on this thing. And so sometimes we got to force ourselves to step away so we can go and kind of come to our center, to get back into that grounded and, you know, just kind of even place. And so I feel like this is, you know, ultimately you in your happiest place because you have something going on that is of interest to you. You know, and it might be something that isn't, you know, it might be difficult. It might not be something that ends up being a celebration once you've navigated your mystery here. But I think it's about the journey for you, you know. It is. I just imagine you so into like research and hunting down, you know, little leads and really having so much excitement as you are figuring out what's going on, you know. Also, probably not the best person to watch a movie with. Because I can see in my mind you kind of like being like, oh, well, I already know. This guy did it and this is why. And, you know, and then, yeah, you were right. From like the first 5 minutes of the movie, you already knew what was happening. So, you know, in those situations, maybe, you know, it gets you in a little trouble. All right, so Aquarius, we're going to do our divine doors. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. Okay, and it says, Jude's song, a reminder for even the most hopeless of lost cases. You can find peace within the strangest of places. You can find peace within the strangest of places. Isn't that the truth? I believe that 100%. Okay, Aquarius, I want to tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And, what else? Oh, if you want to leave a comment, please do. I would love to hear from you, especially if you're new to the channel. Shout it out. Let me know you've come and watched. And yeah, so other than that, I just want to say again, I love you. Take care. We will talk soon. Good night.